This is VFL Weekly Wrap for round 6. A full program of 11 games were played on the weekend. I went to 3 games. I'll go through the other results first. Now, Friday night, the first night match at Dingley. Box Hill defeated Collingwood by 9 points, 16-13 109 to 15-10 100. Now, this was Box Hill's 500th VFL game as an alignment to Hawthorn. So it was a big milestone there. Now for Box Hill, Henry Huswaite, 30 possessions, 7 clearances. It's a good victory for Box Hill because Collingwood have been playing good. Also, Friday night, now this was a home game for Richmond, but they played at Frankston. At Frankston Oval, and Frankston got them in a tight game by 12 points, 11-8 74 to 9-8 62. Richmond, they were in front for the first 118 minutes, and Frankston hit the front in the last 6 minutes. For the Dolphins, Trent Minor, 30 possessions, 10 clearances. Another lucky win for Frankston. Now, the Sharks, Southport and Footscray played on Saturday. Fankau's reserve, the grand final rematch. Southport got them by 10 points, 12-8 80 to 10-10 70. Southport had 126 more possessions and took 47 more marks. Another loss for Footscray. Princes Park, Carlton beat St Kilda by 5 points, 14-14 98 to 13-15 93. The free kick count was staggering. St Kilda, 29 free kicks to 13. Now for Carlton, George Hewitt, 31 possessions, 2 goals, 12 marks, 6 clearances. For the Saints, Hugh Boxall, 33 possessions, 12 marks, 7 tackles. Carlton doing well in the VFL this year. Now, at Cardinia Park, Geelong beat North Melbourne by 13 points. 11-20 86 to 11-7 73. Geelong had 24 more clearances, but 6 of those 20 points were rushed. So Geelong got away inaccurate kicking. Now for them, George Stevens, 34 possessions, 12 clearances. Mitch Nevitt, 27 possessions, 7 tackles, 10 clearances. Geelong shoot to the top of the table. Now, Tramway Oval. Now, these 3 games are all played on Sunday. Sydney beat Casey by 17 points, 14-10 94 to 11-11 77. For Casey, Riley Bonner, 36 possessions, 11 marks. Now, the Sydney Ruckman again, Peter Laddams. He dominated last week against Footscray and he's done so again this match. 31 possessions, 9 marks, 8 clearances, 33 hitouts. Unbelievable. And Caden Cleary had 38 possessions. Now, a game at Launceston saw Tasmania beat a plucky Sandringham by 26 points, 19-12 126 to 15-10 100. Sandringham dominated the clearances though, 52 to 27. Now, Joy Menzies for Tasmania, 24 possessions, 10 tackles, 3 goals. And for Sandy, Ruckman Daniel Pinter, 23 possessions, 23 hitouts, 10 clearances. And Andreas Stefanakis, 29 possessions, 7 clearances, 2 goals. Sandy actually kicked the last 4 goals right at the end there, so they made the scoreboard respectable. Another win for Tasmania. They just keep rolling on. Game at Carrara saw GWS belt up on Gold Coast by 56 points, 21-8 134 to 11-12 78. Despite that loss, the Suns dominated the hitouts, 56 to 12. That's amazing. A team can kick 134 points, but only have 12 hitouts. Now for the Suns, Joy Murray, 39 possessions, 8 marks and a goal. Max Noble, 19 possessions, 47 hitouts, 7 clearances. It was a team effort for GWS. They look like they're the real deal. As I said, I went to 3 games. But before I get into it, subscribe to my channel, Kirk Gench 8878. Press that like button. Now, on Saturday, I went to Coburg City Oval and saw Coburg belt up on Brisbane by 65 points. 17-13, 115 to 6-14, 50. Coburg 4 goals 2-1, 6 at quarter time. Coburg 4-2 to 2-4 in the second. They smashed them in the third quarter, 6-5 to 1-1, and last quarter 3-4 to 2-3. Coburg won every quarter. The major goal kickers, the Twin Towers, Jane Stevenson and Mitch Pajaski kicked 5 each. Ryan Valentine and Joel Trudgeon 2 each for Brisbane, all singles. The possessions for Coburg, Heath Ramshaw 33 possessions. Joel Trudgeon had a game. 30 possessions, 2 goals, 12 tackles. Thomas Barnett, 29 possessions, 8 marks. Now for Brisbane, Luke Beacon had 27 possessions. James Tunstall, 21 possessions, 10 tackles. Shadow Brain, 20 possessions. They were all kicks, a goal and 9 tackles. Coburg dominated this game. They had 120 more possessions. The wind was blowing towards the city end. It was worth 3 goals. Coburg had it in the first quarter. Brisbane were poor in the second. Coburg just dominated that third quarter. They won every quarter, as I said. Coburg had something to prove. Mate, a disappointing crowd, I must say. Obviously, Brisbane Lions and AFL play at the same time, so that was ridiculous. Coburg needed that win. They had to prove something because they've been pretty poor this year. That was their first 4-quarter effort all year. I know Brisbane's got injuries, but let me tell you about that team there that went out to field on Saturday. That was a pathetic performance. It was weak. It's like they didn't want to be there. They didn't want any bar of it. It's like they just wanted to fly over, get it over with, and fly back home. It was a weak performance from Brisbane. They're not going to play finals. Coburg, professional effort. They didn't give up. Like I said, they put pressure on Brisbane. It was too hot for them in the kitchen. They just couldn't last. And a very good win for Coburg. Morale boosting. Well, that's what the VFL needs right now. They need a team like Coburg to do well. They need Coburg to do well. Hopefully that's the start of something. Then I quickly drove to Windy Hill and got there before 3-quarter time to watch Williamstown and Essendon. Williamstown got Essendon by 13 points. 12-16-88 to 11-9-75. Essendon 4 goals to 3 in the first quarter. 5 goals to 1 in the second quarter. Willie dominated the third quarter. 4 goals, 6 to 2 behinds. Last quarter, that's where the game was won. 4-3 to 2-2. Williamstown kicked 8 goals, 9 to 2 behinds. 8 goals, 9 to 2 goals, 4 in the second half. Essendon were 28 points up at half time and capitulated yet again. They lose another heartbreaking close game, Essendon. Professional win by Williamstown. When the game was on line in the last quarter, their defence was very good. They stood firm and got Essendon on the break. Now for Williamstown, the goal kickers, Diesel Maloney kicked 4, Joel Fitzgerald 2. For Essendon, Lee McMahon, Hussein El Achkar 3 each, Jared Eckersley 2. For Willie, Joel Fitzgerald, another outstanding game. 40 possessions, 2 goals, 8 marks, 8 tackles. Jack Reiser had 27 touches. For Essendon, Elias Sardis, 34 possessions, 10 clearances. Will Setterfield, 25 possessions, 8 tackles. Like I said, Essendon were well up at half time, but they just capitulated. When I got there in the 3-quarter time huddle for Williamstown, the coach, Justin Plapp, he was very unimpressed, let me tell you. But they responded well. Now, it was a great atmosphere at that ground. A lot of Willie fans. It was a good experience. They got some good fans, Williamstown, I tell you. They're a professional team and they'll be there again. Williamstown have won 3 games by 13 points under this year. Head to head, 17 all. Very first time Williamstown have won at Windy Hill, so that's a good win for Willie. A gutsy win. Now, Port Melbourne, the two rivals there. Port Melbourne, too good for Werribee. 26-point winners at North Port Oval, 13-12-90 to 19-64. Port 3 goals to 1 in the first quarter. Werribee 4 goals to 2 in the second. Port Melbourne 6-5 to 2-1 in the third. 2 goals each in the last quarter. The major goal kickers for Port Melbourne, Max Ryder and Dom Bendendo, 3 each. Josh Tovey and Michael Rudd kicked 2 each. And Brady Wright kicked 3 for Werribee. The possessions, Ben Hobbs, former Essendon player, 29 possessions, 11 clearances. Riley Polkinghorn, 24 possessions, 9 clearances. In the ruck, Sam Grant, 38 hit-outs, 7 clearances. For Werribee, Charlie Lazaro, again outstanding, 23 possessions, 13 tackles, 9 clearances. Sam Donegan, 21 possessions, 8 tackles. Don Brew, 21 possessions, 11 tackles, 8 clearances. Jack Riding, 15 tackles. Ajan Kormun, 47 hit-outs, 8 clearances. Werribee laid 98 tackles. The stats were pretty much even. It was a low stat count because there was far too many free kicks in that match. 59 in total. Umpires were far too technical. There was no flow in that game whatsoever. Two stop and start. It was ridiculous. Port were in front for 100 minutes, Werribee for 7 minutes. The wind was blowing towards a Williamstown road end, probably worth 2 or 3 goals. The crowd, I think, was slightly disappointing. It wasn't exactly actually good weather, so it rained a lot before the game, and then in the last quarter the sun broke out. But the weather wasn't exactly great. Port Melbourne lead Werribee head-to-head, 33-25. It's their first win against Werribee in 4 years. Werribee disappointing again. Too inconsistent. I just had a feeling Port Melbourne were going to win this game because they beat Brisbane up in Brisbane last week, and also their 2 former players are playing for Werribee in Lazaro and Kormun, so they were always going to be fired up for that game. Werribee were disappointing. I thought Port Melbourne established themselves early. They were aggressive. They kept a good structure. They played as a team. And they definitely deserved a win there. That's a good win for them, but Werribee, disappointing. Now, we'll look at the ladder. 6 teams are on 4 wins. 6 teams are on 3 wins. 7 teams on 2 wins. Brisbane and the Suns in the bottom 2. Geelong is on top of GWS by 5%, so it's tight. Too early to dissect the ladder. It's a long way to go yet. Goal kickers, Mitch Pajaski in fine form, 23 goals. Brendan McLaughlin, 18. Now to round 7 games, this is ridiculous. There's only 8 games. 6 teams have the bye. I won't go through them. Now there's 6 games on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Now Saturday, Casey play Carlton. Southport play Coburg. Good game here. Victoria Park, Collingwood Geelong. The game I'm going to, Werribee against Tasmania at Chirnside Park. Should be a very interesting game there. Do or die now for Werribee. North Melbourne plays Sydney at Arn Street. Should be a good game. Williamstown Richmond at Point Gellibrand will be interesting as well. Now Sunday is Mother's Day, so very unlikely I'm going to go to a footy game because, I've got a better chance of winning Tatslotta than going on Mother's Day. GWS play Essendon. Now Sandringham plays St Kilda at Trevor Barker Beach Oval. That's going to be an absolute grudge match. This is a game I wanted to go to, but I seriously doubt I'm going to be there. So it looks like just one game this week. Very interesting round of football. Once again, I'm not going to go through my gripe because my 15 minutes are nearly up. Very interesting round of football. I'll see you in round 7.